Like the whole thing with the dome when they was counting, that was the big thing here was the counting of the ballots at the dome. It was all counting the ballots, and they told them that it was a leak on the opposite side of the dome. Everybody needed to evacuate. So then when they all left, the Democrats went back in and started counting, and the Republicans went back to the headquarters. They didn't know.
You know that for a fact?
That's what happened. Yeah.
They made it seem like nothing had, like they legitimately had leak issues.
Yeah, so they had said it was leak issues. So you see them on the video putting everything up, and they left. No, they did. They put someone put stuff up, and then you see them leave. Then they was out in the parking lot when I guess they told them they could come back in. Or they was out in the parking lot and they was gonna go back to headquarters. And so the Republicans left, the Republican watchers, they all left. And so after they left, the Democrats went back in there and started counting. So that's the videotape. You see them when they're walking back in, pulling the shit out from underneath the tables, and during that hour. And then the other part was that when they were counting, I think during that hour, that stretch of that, it was only like less than 100 votes was counted for Trump. And just statistically, you're downtown, there's going to be more than 100 votes for Trump. That's what happened in 2020, because that's when the ballots, and they started stuffing them ballots, and people stuffing them ballots, and they got videotape of it. But because nobody talks about it, because they want it. That's why Trump been making that big deal about it, because you see it on videotape. It's like, come on, we see the man pull up and put 100 ballots in his box. You can't do that shit. So groups is paying people to do just that. Drop off ballots, go around, collect ballots, collect absentee ballots, drop them off.
How did that even
work?
Okay, so if you're paying someone, I'm not trying to do this, trust me, but if you're a group and you're paying someone to pick up the absentee ballots, do people take their absentee ballots to the orgs and then the orgs distribute the pay? That's confusing. It doesn't make sense.
No, it's like, let's say you're my canvasser. I tell you to go around and pick up these absentee ballots from this area. You go pick them all up and drop them off in the box. No different. I pay you every week like a canvasser. You just get paid like a canvasser. You're on the clock for however many hours, driving around, picking up absentee ballots and putting them in ballot boxes.
What information do you need to actually know that these are certain areas that have a lot of absentee ballots?
I mean, when that's the case, you would just have to you would either have to reach it, like if some groups was reaching out to the folks beforehand, so they were passing them out to other people and then coming back and getting them all. Going down to a senior house, give everybody a ballot, and come back and collect all their ballots and turn it in on. And then you take the ballots and then drop them off.
And then the groups would have whoever, the canvassers go and pick them up and then take them straight.
You can't do that. That's the illegal part. So think about it like this: if you're going to steal an election, let's say Georgia, this is the perfect example. If you're going to steal an election here, you're not going to go to the outside of the Democratic Party, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to go outside of Atlanta or outside the metro Atlanta and change the numbers in the Republican counties, right? Because that should have just been too obvious. Change the numbers in your home. You can fluctuate these numbers because it'll just look the same.
It makes more sense to do it in Atlanta.
It hides better. So like if somebody's coming behind you and saying, well, you've been stealing votes, the first place they're gonna look is in the outline counters where it's red. Don't change those numbers, right? Because then it'll flip that county that's always been red to blue.
Which will raise the flag.
Which will raise that flag.
Okay.
If you come here to the city where it's already 1.5 million voters, and then you just increase the numbers of your already places that you want. So you want to inflate the numbers that you already have versus trying to go to a red area and inflate those numbers, because that would just obviously look wild,
So you need to start planning 4 years in advance.
You're trying to steal an election. Yeah, because you gotta get a lot.
Dude, it makes sense, but that's 2016.
You gotta pay a
People
lot.
are mad.
You gotta pay a lot of people to get in the pocket, get in the pockets. You know, a lot of people. You know, people that you gotta get in position. You gotta get. You know, everybody gotta get a piece somewhere. Everybody gotta get paid.
Huh.
Canvassers, ballot counters, the people who run the job boxes, the election officials. We got all of that on somebody's payroll. You know, or a kickback or something somewhere.
Building.
In the movie, they didn't. In the documentary, they never said what groups. They just said investigations was being launched into different so they never mentioned.
They didn't name the orgs.
They didn't name the orgs, but yeah.
This all this is
So
crazy.
I just always been waiting on that to drop because I was like, well, yeah, they're gonna do an investigation, and they got the evidence because they were showing that in the documentary, the closed caption TVs of people pulling up. Like, I told somebody when I got to the office because one of the cars in the video I recognized because they always at the building.
Who was it?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was a union member or something.
Probably.
But that was like when I first started. They just had one of them weird cars that
stood out.
That stood out. And I was like, I know who that. I was like, yeah, that's rare.
That's when you was up there all the time, though, too.
Yeah, that's when I first started. So I don't know who car that really was. But
Are they still up there?
nah, after I told them, I never saw the car again.
Dude, that's so crazy. I'm telling you, this dude kind of looks like you. I was like, hold up. When I seen that, when they sent me that picture, I was like, that better not be him.
No, oh hell.
I was like,
no.
but no.
But yeah, I knew they were doing stuff like that though. Because that's how they did. That's how they got one of the mayors in. They was dropping ballots in the boxes and stuff. Normally, how they
Around here?
Yeah, in Metro Atlanta. For the mayor's race in Atlanta. So what they normally do is how they do it. You know, when you're trying to steal a race, you're not trying to, like if you got Republican districts and Democrat districts, you're trying to get the Democrat, right, elected. What they do is they don't go to the Republican. What's up, boss?
But how you know they're going to do it again in 2024, though?
What? Get all that they not
Whatever
on ballot? Oh, harvest them ballots and shit.
Yeah.
That's why the Republicans are always trying to fight about, that's the argument of the whole thing is because Republicans, they're the ones who put out that kind of stuff. So they want to do like voter IDs and stuff with you. Democrats will, fight voter ID laws. So, so it's that two-sided thing. Right? That's what they fighting over. Republicans are trying to say like, hey, look, we got the proof of this and Democrats are like, well, we don't want voter ID laws, and we want to make it where you can just drop your ballot off, online voting, different things that they try to come up with.
Dang.
Yeah, so that's the two sides, the two.
Yeah, they go back and forth.
Yeah, so that's why it's always something about voter ID laws. And then the Politico just wrote an article about New Georgia Project. I'll let you read it. It's deep. It's when you see it, you'll be like, oh. I took a screenshot of it because I sent it to all the staff earlier this morning. Yeah, I read the article, but yeah, I know it's I know it's I know all of them. So when shit happen like that, I just be like, okay, and keep it pushing. So when I saw that article, I was like, okay. Yep, about time. I figured that.
So I know it's hard to get fired from the actual nonprofit, though.
Yeah.
They don't be firing nobody. Like, you gotta be doing something real strange to be fired.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta really be doing some wild